this point, 2020 has already become the most historic year in over a century. Last year, we celebrated the 400-year anniversary of the transatlantic slave trade with parties, festivals, concerts, etc. And I still feel as if many missed the full and true understanding of the 400-year prophecy. And, I don't want to preach too much here as I'm not an ordained minister, but in Genesis 15:13, it reads, "Then the Lord said unto him, Know for certain that for 400 years your descendants will be strangers in a country not their own, and that they will be enslaved and mistreated there. But I will punish the nation they served as slaves, and afterwards they will come out with great possessions. You, however, will go to your ancestors in peace and be buried at a good old age." In other words, we have been freed. Physically, economically, spiritually, mentally, we've been freed. Now, in 2020, the first year after our freedom from biblical bondage, all of the nations most involved in our 400 years of historic oppression are mysteriously most affected and afflicted with the single most disruptive plague in over 100 years. France, England, Italy, and the United States of America. Coincidence? It is factual that a large number of our own people have also been affected and have also lost their lives during this time. And we mourn and we pray for those people and their families. But for the purpose of this demonstration, let's focus on the positive benefits this turn of events has had on us in this time of our freedom and awakening. Some of the most oppressive and unproductive systems against us in particular have fallen. Number one, the education system. Schools and universities now closed until further notice. The employment system. 16 million people unemployed in the US alone, and over 6 million in just 1 week. The healthcare system. Our most prominent establishments and states are the most ill-prepared. New York, for example. The media, sports, entertainment system. All media networks are now being called out and exposed. All 6 major movie studios in Hollywood are now shut down. All major league sports canceled. All live TV shows and studio audiences off the air. The imperial system. There's of elites in Saudi, the Vatican, UAE, Britain, and elsewhere, all rounded up and arrested on crimes against humanity. The Rothschilds and the Rockefellers lose their 100-year control over the world's money, and the British royal family is divided in the shambles. For the time being, I'd say we've been forced into our own systems. Unconventionally and unexpectedly, but certainly forced to provide now for our own. In light of the obvious tragedy, we call it a blessing in disguise. Perhaps a test of our sustainability ethic. Even we at the Made in Africa Project took a hit, but our systems of diversity and multiple streams of income saved us. So when our departments like tourism came to a halt, our other departments like export and investments and media increased and filled that financial gap as expected. think we should all think of this global pandemic and current state of our affairs as a chance to start over fresh. Don't go back to that same unstable job that you never really enjoyed anyway. Create sustainable businesses that will take pride in building and supporting. Don't send your kids back to the same education system that marginalizes and mishandles our children. Create a system of learning that works for us while teaching our kids about their true selves. Don't put your health back in the hands of the fools fumbling right now when you need them the most. Create our own medical centers and practices with holistic options and preventative resources to keep us healthy, not just exploit sickness for profit. Don't invest in and support their sports and leagues and teams, but build our own, for our own, with our own. When this is all over, we have two options. Just lay those out for you. Number one, this is all over, we can rush back to the businesses, institutions, and systems of our historic oppressors, shop at their retailers, spend millions in their hair and nail shops, send our kids to them for education, visit their destinations and attractions, and rely on them for health and safety for our families. Or we can rush to our own land as the decision makers and developers invest in our own products and goods, build our own services, and collectively decide upon what our children study and how we care for our sick and our elderly. We have an opportunity to see the end of the prophecy through, to return to the land of our ancestors and live in good health into our old age. My family and partners have spent the last 6 years identifying our every need as a people and representing a wide range of those needs in a fully comprehensive 100-year development plan. Together with professionals in eco-strategy, financial management, legal services, media, tourism, education, and many other skills, we have established a rounded collective structure that can be tasked with our city's continuing growth. We all talk and rant and post and tweet about what we need as a people and how much somebody should save us from our situation. Now is the time to be that somebody. If not us, then who? I want to end here by addressing another biblical prediction. Just the other day, we celebrated Passover. And Passover commemorates the story of the Israelites' departure from the oppressive ancient Egypt. As the story goes, during the 10th and final plague, God passes through the land of Egypt with a deadly plague, but the Hebrews had been told to remain in their homes so that God passes over them and spared them the effects of the plague. Sound familiar? Now, whether you are a religious person or not, you must admit the correlation is not only ironic, but the historic timing is also eerily coincidental. But then again, how many coincidences does it take until it is mathematically impossible to be a coincidence? Let's take heed and act accordingly. Let's plan and execute a strategy. Let's build collectively and let's succeed in unity. The choice is yours. The time is now. The call has been made. Come home.